I'm Natalie, um, and for my mini book review, don't laugh, I am doing Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. Um, and this is probably a testament to my generation, but I actually really did struggle with picking one book. And one of the main reasons I picked this one is because it's the only physical copy I still had from all of my favorite books that I could actually read from. So there's that. And the reason I chose this book was because it's what really kind of got me into reading and writing. My mom gave them to me after she had read the first one, and she had me start reading them. So I was still in elementary school when I started reading them. But it's the first world that I kind of got lost in literature, I guess you could say, because I'd always been a reader. My mom, we have her to thank for that. But this was the first one that I kind of let myself get engulfed in and just kind of lived in these books, in these stories. And that was the start of my obsession with fictional worlds, which sounds weird, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And I guess one of the most intense parts of these books, not that there is a lack of intense parts in these books. If you've seen the movies, you probably know, even if you haven't read the books. But any and all of the deaths in these books, spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't read or seen the books, I'm sure most of you have, but when Dumbledore dies, I A, sobbed like a little girl, and B, it was crazy, because you don't think who's gonna kill him kills him, and then it happens, and I was emotional about it. And then, of course, when Fred Weasley dies, I don't talk about it. And yeah, the list goes on and on. There are endless deaths. And then the Triwizard Tournament is another one that I just always thought was really intense, and it's probably my favorite movie that was made from the books. And that's just a roller coaster of craziness. And then the Battle of Hogwarts, naturally, because that's when most of the deaths happen, like Fred. I'm still emotional about it. And then why this book resonates with me. And this is the part that I took a while to think about, because the other two questions were kind of easy. Why I picked it, easy. Most intense part, not as easy, but you got a lot to choose from. But why it resonates with me and why it is one of my favorite books, or I guess favorite series, not just a book, was because I started reading these when stuff at home started getting really crappy. And it took me away from the crap world that was my home life and took me to Hogwarts and, all the excitement that happened there. It was this fantastical world that obviously, I would so love it if it was real. But it wasn't. But still, I got to live in this world and get away from the crap that was happening in my own house and kind of get lost in this other world where nobody could take that away from me. And that was really exciting because I got to sit at home while my parents fought, and I got to escape into this world that was all about fighting evil people and destroying Horcruxes. And what's more exciting than that? And then again, after 2 years at ICC of being a crime scene technology major, I switched over to English. And I'd like to think that love of English started with Harry Potter and these books. So it kind of introduced me to the world of not only loving literature and loving the stories that were told in the literature I was reading, not just because I was good at it, but because I enjoyed it. And writing. It introduced me to my love of writing. Because after I read these, I was like, well, what if I wrote an amazing story like that? What if I could do this and this and this? Granted, fiction is not my forte, but still, it introduced me to that world of writing that I love and live in now. So I think that's why it resonates with me the most, is because it got me through one of the toughest times in my life, and it introduced me to what I want to do for the rest of my life, the thing that I love the most, and it's reading and writing and literature and English and all that fun stuff. So that's why I picked Harry Potter. And the part I'm going to read is another death, because apparently that's my thing today. And I'm reading The Deathly Hallows, so this is the last one. So again, if you haven't seen the movies, if you haven't read the books, spoiler, I'm going to spoil things for you, and I'm sorry. You can stop watching now if you really want to. I won't be offended. But I will start reading for you guys once I get this open. Okay. And then he heard voices coming from the room directly ahead of them, only slightly muffled by the fact that the opening at the end of the tunnel had been blocked up by what looked like an old crate. Hardly daring to breathe, Harry edged right up to the opening and peered through the tiny gap left between crate and the wall. The room beyond was dimly lit, but he could see Nagini, swirling and coiling like a serpent underwater, safe in her enchanted starry sphere, which floated unsupported in midair. He could see the edge of a table, a long-fingered white hand toying with a wand. Then Snape spoke, and Harry's heart lurched. Snape was inches away from where he crouched, hidden. "My lord, their resistance is crumbling." "And it is doing so without your help," said Voldemort in his high, clear voice. "Skilled wizard though you are, Severus, I do not think you will make much difference now. We are almost there. Almost. Let me find the boy. Let me bring you Potter. I know I can find him, my lord. Please." Snape strode past the gap, and Harry drew back a little, keeping his eyes fixed upon Nagini, wondering whether there was any spell that might penetrate the protection surrounding her, but he could not think of anything. One failed attempt, and he would give away his position. Voldemort stood up. Harry could see him now, see the red eyes, the flattened serpentine face, the pallor of him gleaming slightly in the semi-darkness. "I have a problem, Severus," said Voldemort softly. "My lord?" said Snape. Voldemort raised the elder wand, holding it as delicately and precisely as a conductor's baton. "Why doesn't it work for me, Severus?" In the silence, Harry imagined he could hear the snake hissing slightly as it coiled and uncoiled. Or was it Voldemort's sibilant sigh lingering on the air? My lord," said Snape blankly, "I do not understand. You have performed extraordinary magic with that wand." "No," Voldemort said. "I have performed my usual magic. I am extraordinary. But this wand, no. It has not revealed the wonders it has promised. I feel no difference between this wand and the one I procured from Ollivander all those years ago." Voldemort's tone was musing, calm, but Harry's scar had begun to throb and pulse. Pain was building in his forehead, and he could feel that controlled sense of fury building inside Voldemort. "No difference," said Voldemort again. Snape did not speak. Harry could not see his face. He wondered whether Snape sensed danger, was trying to find the right words to reassure his master. Voldemort started to move around the room. Harry lost sight of him for seconds as he prowled, speaking in that same measured voice, while the pain and fury mounted in Harry. "I have thought long and hard, Severus. Do you know I have called you back from the battle?" And for a moment Harry saw Snape's profile. His eyes were fixed upon the coiling snake in its enchanted cage. "No, my lord. But I beg you will let me return. Let me find Potter." "You sound like Lucius." "Neither of you understands Potter as I do. He does not need finding. Potter will come to me. I know his weakness, you see, his one great flaw. He will hate watching the others struck down around him, knowing that it is for him that it happens. He will want to stop it at any cost. He will come." "But, my lord, he might be killed accidentally by one other." than yourself. My instructions to my Death Eaters have been perfectly clear. Capture Potter, kill his friends, the more the better, but do not kill him. But it is of you that I wish to speak, Severus, not Harry Potter. You have been very valuable to me, very valuable. My lord knows I seek only to serve him. But let me go and find the boy, my lord. Let me bring him to you. I know I can. I have told you no, said Voldemort, and Harry caught the glint of red in his eyes as he turned again. And the swishing of his cloak was like the slithering of a snake, and he felt Voldemort's impatience in his burning scar. My concern at the moment, Severus, is what will happen when I finally meet the boy. My lord, there can be no question, surely. But there is a question, Severus, there is. Voldemort halted, and Harry could see him plainly again as he slid the Elder Wand through his white fingers, staring at Snape. Why did both the wands I have used fail when directed at Harry Potter? I cannot answer that, my lord. Can't you? The stab of rage felt like a spike driven through Harry's head. He forced his own fist into his mouth to stop himself from crying out in pain. He closed his eyes, and suddenly he was Voldemort, looking into Snape's pale face. My wand of you did everything of which I asked it, Severus, except to kill Harry Potter. Twice it failed. Ollivander told me under torture of the twin cores. He told me to take another wand. I did so, but Lucius's wand shattered upon meeting Potter's. I have no explanation, my lord. Snape was not looking at Voldemort now. His dark eyes were still fixed upon the coiling serpent in his protective sphere. I sought a third wand, Severus, the Elder Wand, the Wand of Destiny, the Death Stick. I took it from its previous master. I took it from the grave of Albus Dumbledore. And now Snape looked at Voldemort, and Snape's face was like a death mask. It was marble white, and so still that when he spoke, it was a shock to see that anyone lived behind the blank eyes. My lord, let me go to the boy. All this long night, when I am on the brink of victory, I have sat here, said Voldemort, his voice barely louder than a whisper, wondering why the Elder Wand refuses to be what it ought to be, refuses to perform as legend says it must perform for its rightful owner. And I think I have the answer. Snape did not speak. Perhaps you already know it. You are a clever man, after all, Severus. You have been a good and faithful servant, and I regret what must happen, my lord. The Elder Wand cannot serve me properly, Severus, because I am not its true master. The Elder Wand belongs to the wizard who killed its last owner. You killed Albus Dumbledore. While you live, Severus, the Elder Wand cannot truly be mine. My lord, Snape protested, raising his wand. It cannot be any other way, said Voldemort. I must master the wand, Severus. Master the wand, and I master Potter at last. And Voldemort swiped the air with the Elder Wand. It did nothing to Snape, who for a split second seemed to think he had been reprieved. But then Voldemort's intention became clear. The snake's cage was rolling through the air, and before Snape could do anything more than yell, it had encased him, head and shoulders. And Voldemort spoke in Parseltongue. Kill. So that was my mini book review. Hope you guys enjoyed my stumbling over words. Bye!